You gotta love when you record something on Zoom, like I do often, and then the file's done, and for some reason the computer decided that it wasn't going to record it at that moment, especially when you think it's good content. So that brings me to the topic of the day to discuss. Because two people asked me this past week, well, really in the last almost 48 hours, excuse me, what I think of them doing keto 4 days a week and a few days of the week not doing keto, or just kind of, that it wasn't going to be, I guess they used the word like feasible for the other days. So what would I think if they like, a ketogenic diet, like a true keto diet? Like they were like, no, I understand and I've done it before and, I get it. I lost a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of time. So the answer is very simply no, don't do that. So that goes for anyone out there who's thinking, well, I'm going to eat keto for, 4 days or 5 days, but then I'll have like two cheat days and things like that. It doesn't work like that. And it's not going to ever work like that until you have committed a substantial time to finding a sustainable, achievable, like feasible for you of any kind of diet, but especially with the ketogenic diet. Because you have to understand what you're doing is you are depleting your body of its sodium, glucose, and most water, stores, right? Sodium follows water, water follows glucose, glucose follows water, sodium. Any which way you want to state it, thus all the electrolytes are depleted. That's why people who do the ketogenic diet long term will say things like the biggest concern, and it is the biggest concern, is to get enough electrolytes, i.e., your magnesium, potassium, sodium, things like that. Whether you're getting it from sea salt, whether you're getting it from eating additional avocado, whether you're having enough plants in your diet that are low glycemic. We're talking about leafy greens that are really just fiber and water. So, yes, to do something like that on a short term basis, you're only scratching the surface. You might be beginning to make some ketones, but you're certainly not heading into the area of nutritional ketosis or becoming a fat burning machine, if you will, forgive the expression, because there is the cognitive enhancement and that kind of like micro stressful environment you're creating by living in nutritional ketosis. It is hard on the kidneys long term, which is why I think it's something that can be used. And I had the best experience with it for over that like first like 4.5, 5 months. And then I started to have some adverse effects, which is funny because it took care of a lot of my diabetes symptoms. One was the main one that I noticed was the eyesight was not blurry anymore. My night vision or night blindness, if you will, went away, and the frequent urination went away. Frequency of urination can actually kind of come back when you're depleted of electrolytes and you're depleted of sodium, where you feel it like in the kidneys, you're hurting your kidneys, potentially being not adequately hydrated and not having those electrolytes. So think about that as something that's an adverse effect of long-term ketosis. But certainly if you never give yourself a chance to get there over the course of 3 or 4 months, all you'd be doing is making matters worse by putting your body through a period of, okay, so I don't need any insulin. I'm not fluctuating my blood glucose. I'm not fluctuating my blood glucose. Oh, good. I'm getting used to kind of burning fat. I'm kind of mimicking intermittent and or just prolonged fasting at times by how deep into nutritional ketosis I can get. That's why I'm probably having a little trouble sleeping or something, right? Because you have that you're hyper focused. You feel so good. You have so much energy. And then all of a sudden you go and flip that switch on. I say, flip that switch on by having additional carbohydrates or refined sugar that have no nutritional content. You're drinking alcohol, you're spiking your blood sugar, you're getting you're inviting inflammation back into the body. It's detrimental. And you do that enough in like these short periods of time, these short bursts, you're actually going to not just put on the weight you lost, you're going to put on more weight. You're going to feel like crap. It's going to be very hard to manage. So I think always and forever, the answer is going to be beautifully put by my friend Kat recently. The only diet that works for anyone, not only is it a lifestyle, but it's something that's really sustainable for you. Now, whether or not you had some kind of pre-existing autoimmune reaction to certain foods and why, carnivore high fat works well for this one, plant-based vegan works, best for that one. There's so much to it, whether it be genetics, the gut microbiome, right? We should know that now. I mean, the information is there, not just the gut brain axis. how it communicates. The gut is like a second, sometimes some even say the first brain. What's important to understand is what you eat expresses how you will function in this life, whether it's inflammation, whether it's, you know, constantly chronic fatigued and being tired, and, you know, it could go on and on. And whether your gut is broken, whether it's leaky gut, whether it's irritable bowel, whether you need supplements or treatments to fix your, insides, has nothing to do with. And now I got a little off course, but in summary, to do the true like cyclic keto, 2-3 months on, having like a week where you're reintroducing carbohydrates, that's something to consider. Having a little carbohydrates later on at night before you go to bed to signal a little insulin so you can get a better night's sleep, that's something to consider. Plus, you'll have some of those additional electrolytes and some glycogen or glucose, but really it's a glycogen store in the muscles, and some will get to the liver for your workout the next morning if you do it kind of the way that I did it, which was, daily exercise, moderate intensity, sort of each morning. But that's the way to get some carbohydrates back in, or to do this, cyclic approach to ketosis. Otherwise, you're going to want to stick to it as the most, you want to make it your sustainable diet in order to reap any of the benefits and have, your health change from it. And the only way to know it is if you give it a real shot and you really go at it strategically and you plan for it and you do it the right way. So I hope that helps if you're considering the keto diet. That is the stone cold truth, guys. Until next time, everybody, feel free to reach out if you need anything. This is Dr. Pearlman.